There are tons of business podcasts to choose from, but only one has the stamp of approval. Kristin Stampini is South Florida's leading real estate entrepreneur and your trusted source for everything real estate.
I would like to welcome our listeners and thank you for joining us today for another episode of our podcast, The Stamp of Approval. I'm Kristin Stampini, co-founder of the Stampini team with Remax in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm also a certified real estate coach with Craig Proctor and the owner of Global Virtual Assistants. The Stamp of Approval podcast was launched to share and educate other realtors, consumers, and other business owners across North America by sharing value and content to our listeners in each and every episode. I share my experiences and my personal triumphs and failures throughout my life and strength throughout my entire life with hope of my audience being able to expand their knowledge on everything in real estate, business, sales, and mindset oriented. So we recently also, I'm very excited to say, launched Stamp TV on YouTube. You can look for it under real estate or Stamp TV. You'll see me there. So I share weekly real estate tips here as well. If you like our podcast, we just ask that you please share it with others that might like it as well. So today I'm going to welcome Bri White. And Bri's an elder millennial, basically a little wiser than those younger kids, as she says. It's so cute. She started from the bottom and worked herself all the way up. So Bri started off as a receptionist and then climbed her way up to being an operations director at Remax, basically the right-hand girl. And now she's a full-time girl boss, badass realtor. So Bri founded the Remax Creative Facebook group 2 years ago. Her member count is over 11,000 global Remax members. Her passion outside of real estate is marketing and social media, which she's awesome at. You know, Bri is 100% self-taught. She has had the opportunity to speak nationally and soon to be internationally with Remax in Canada on social media and creative content. Bri has been a guest at offices to teach agents and websites, webinars, and podcasts. So Bri's goal is to share the beauty of simplicity of creating beautiful marketing pieces with as many business owners as possible. Bri loves giving back. It fuels her soul to see a graphic she's created on someone else's iPhone, shared across social media. Bri is legit the queen of rigging it. Bri doesn't use Adobe or anything, original like that to create her artwork. She believes in keeping the software simple and user-friendly. So welcome, Bri. And today we're going to be talking about, growing your sphere, Instagram, Facebook groups, and basically how you can do that and, what is growing on Instagram. So Instagram, it's its own, it's gotten so popular, especially, recently. So we're going to kind of just take it in those different areas. So welcome, Bri.
Thank you for having me, Kristin.
Oh, just love seeing you.
Thanks.
I've known Bri for many years now.
Yeah.
When did you start with Remax in the Remax that I work?
That was about 2014.
Okay, so that's when I first met Bri. And so I've really watched her grow over the last 5 years.
I'm like a little butterfly.
And I've watched her grow, and it's just been amazing to watch her grow. And I saw it when she started the Facebook creative page. So let's start there. Yeah. And when you started it, and I know we talked about it a little bit before. You started it because you were in other groups and, posting different things that you had created. And then you started your own. If this is perfect for any business, not just realtors, but talk about just starting a Facebook page because they can do it in neighborhoods, right? Or they can do it for any type of. So where do you start and how do you get people to join to that page and everything else?
So you can do a page or a group. My focus is more on a group. Because I think that that's where people feel safe and secure with posting. You really just go in and you create it. You have to find a topic. It can be anything. Mommy and me groups are super big. It can be community groups. It could be neighborhood groups. It could be a group of something that you're really passionate about. I'm a Facebook Power admin, and what that means is I have a highly engaging group. And this is the wave of the future because it's a place to get answers. It's a place to find like-minded individuals that have been there, that have gone through it, and to just take in as much information from different perspectives to help you formulate your own perspective.
So if you go and you decide, you know what, I really work a certain city or a certain community and I want to form a group, how do I get people to join that group?
It starts small. Like, I really firmly believe in groups as a grassroots effort. You kind of start with just an idea, and it's really about nurturing it like you would with anything with your business. And the one piece of advice I think that is most important for anyone is your culture is key. It will grow as your numbers grow, and that's just the name of the game, just like, in a regular business. But you have to keep your culture alive, and you have to keep the passion alive. So when you're picking something, find something that it's not going to be work for you. It's going to be your baby.
Yeah. Good advice. And you know what? Creating content and value without selling.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you're going to create a group, like a neighborhood group or something like that, and you provide a lot of value, that in itself, because people are going to be talking about it.
Totally.
Oh, you can go onto Facebook and join this group and you can find out anything that's coming up in Boca Raton or wherever it is, right? Or the community it is, let's say Boca Preserve or whatever community it is. But as soon as you start selling, people are turned off by that?
Oh, yeah. You have to set your ground rules. Facebook is really good at giving you guides to rules to help you get started. And I mean, I guarantee most of our listeners are in one group or another on Facebook. You can always go to that about section when you're starting your group and just kind of see how that group is structured to help formulate what you want to do. Or maybe find a group that's kind of similar, and if they let you in, do that as well. And I also recommend vetting. It's always important to vet your members and ask questions, which you can set that up because you want people who are like-minded and set up rules for when stuff is broken. Like your rules are broken or your culture is broken, like in my group, we have a 3 strikes and you're out. And some groups don't even do that. You have one offense, you don't follow the rules and you're gone.
So for the Remax listeners here and that would like to join your group, how do they do that on Facebook?
So if you go to Facebook, just type in Remax Creative Group. It's Remax Creative Group, Inspire, Share, and Collaborate, and you'll find it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why did you decide to just do Remax?
Because it's easier to maintain. In the sense of you can get highly specific for the content because ours is all about creating marketing, and some people go in there and just grab an image and share it on their business. And I wanted to start there and then see what I could venture off with.
Yeah, because a lot of the stuff that you have actually has Remax on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you think it grew just from people talking about it, or how do you think?
Oh, 100%. It's kind of funny because you'll know when your group is getting spread through the grass, as I like to say, because all of a sudden you'll have 30, 40 requests and it's all in a similarity and you're like, okay, I know someone talked about us at a class or someone said something because that just doesn't happen.
That's funny. Did you have a vision of growing like this big?
No, I'm trying to keep up with it. If that makes sense. It's really great, and it's not work. And I think that's the most valuable thing you can say is when you're creating a group to have value and content to eventually full circle back to business for you, it has to be something you're highly passionate about.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then when you're creating content and stuff, did you actually create it thinking that you would get business from it?
No, I just needed an outlet. I needed an outlet to do what I wanted to do, which was to create stuff and share with as many people. And it's definitely turned into a moneymaker.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So if you create and you give back, okay, and you create not thinking of what can I get from it, it's what can I give, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, it fuels your soul.
It does.
To give back, and which is awesome. I'm the same way. So when you're giving back and you're not thinking about how can I gain business from this, but how can I give back and how can I create valuable content over time, what happens?
it turns into business. It's
That's right.
literally a full circle, and it's great to like have people come up to you and look up to you. And I mean, how many of us think like, oh my gosh, I don't have my stuff together, but then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're so amazing. So it makes you feel good, and it empowers you to want to do more. And I think that that's what social media is providing to people.
So when you're creating a group, you had mentioned a little while ago that Facebook will help you. Where do you get the information from Facebook to help you?
So Facebook has this great little help option where you can go in and see the tutorials and best practices, as well as when you go to create new, like if you're going to create a new page, there's also an option to create a group. It will walk you through it. You can also join groups that are how to have a successful Facebook group and so on and so forth, and just get tips and pointers from it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, okay, so let's change gears into Instagram. Let's talk about followers on Instagram. How do you gain followers? Instagram, is something that is turned in, especially millennials really are not on Facebook.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, even the younger kids, my son.
Or younger, right?
Yeah.
Millennial or younger.
Yeah, he's not really on either sometimes. It's more Snapchat, which that's totally different subject.
Yeah. So Instagram, millennials, maybe younger, not so much, I don't know, but millennials definitely, not like the old people are on Facebook, right?
It's the fastest growing demographic on there for sure.
So Instagram is where it's at as far as growing and stuff, but it's so different than Facebook. People want to treat Instagram as Facebook, and it's not. So what's the difference between the two?
So Instagram is more about the pictures and the visual aspect. It's kind of like a prettier Pinterest without links, unless you get to a certain number of followers, is how I look at it. It's just, it's a way to find businesses now. It's a way to find outfits. It's a way to find really cool food you wish you could eat. It's completely visual, and it's the art of it.
And so people are searching it through hashtags.
Yeah, hashtags, geolocations. Sometimes they'll look for certain profiles. That's pretty much.
And then now you've got Instagram, you've got live Instagram, you've got story Instagram. Then so how do you figure out what to do on Instagram?
I say start with the basics and master how to post on your Instagram wall and page first. Just getting a group for that. You should always check into a location. You should definitely use hashtags to be found, and pick very visual appealing photos. And there's so many websites out there and YouTube tutorials that can teach you how to take the right picture.
That's really good. And then the thing is you can use something like Planology, Hootsuite, to really, Planology is nice because you can look and see what your page is going to look like. And so it's, you can go and you can get Planology and look at it. And then how often are you posting on your page on Instagram?
So I'm not your typical person. I do my Instagram is personal and business, and some people like to have two separates. It's really just subjective to the person. Sometimes I'll go a couple days without posting, and then I'll just post. But for my method, it works for me. And what I've realized for me is when I don't necessarily post every day, I get more followers. So it just, you have to find the rhythm for you, and that takes time.
It really does, because when somebody told me, you really need to be doing the posts on Instagram, I'm like, oh, come on. And it's not about the just sold or the just listed in real estate or things like that. It's more pictures, visual.
Or stories.
Like stories.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I posted a video of me ranting. It was really short about how stuff just happens in real estate and deals just die, and horrible situation. Really great guy. But a deal died because he had to have surgery and have his foot taken off. And that's just the name of the game. And I thought it was kind of tragic and terrible for the minute. And I was like, I don't know if I need to post this, but I'm going to post it anyways because I just needed a vent. And sure enough, people were like, did that legit happen? And it became this whole thing. And I'm like, yeah. We eventually got a deal closed, but it was just this is real life. And what you'll see is Instagram's shifting more than like, yes, you have that pretty picture and like that fake IG life, but people are starting to be raw and real on there.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, they can relate to you again.
Yeah.
It's about relations and it's about understanding because everybody shows, that, oh, their life is beautiful and wonderful and everything else, but things happen. And people like, being able to relate to you in other situations.
It puts normalcy to it for sure. And that's the thing though, is like, there's so many people out there telling you, do this on Instagram, do that. And this is my way is the best way. You got to figure out what works for you. Like 100% legit. Like it's not the same for everyone. For me, I have to be raw, but also have a little bit of like that cute fake prettiness on it. Some people just like prettiness all the way. Some people don't like.
Right. So I'm going through that right now. I only have about 1,000, just over 1,000 followers. Okay. Which is not that many because I'm playing with it.
Right.
So the visual part of it right now. So I'm doing, different quotes and then different pictures, but they're not just sold, just listed, which is what I used to do. I just threw everything up there like it was a junk page because I didn't really know.
Right.
And so now I'm doing it more visual. I'm doing, house. It's a little bit of personal. It's a little visual because that's what people want, but they know because of the hashtags, it's showing the cities and it's showing real estate. I mean, people can definitely tell it's real estate, making sure that your bio is strong. Go look and at what other people are doing that are really successful.
I agree. You have to follow someone that you feel like you can relate to. And let me tell you, if someone tells you that there is no business to be made in real estate on Instagram, I am living proof that there is. Someone DM'd me and I have a listing from it. So, I mean, there's business out there, guys.
Well, and you know what? I've got other friends that are doing, really well with Instagram and, 8,000, 9,000 followers and, in 1 week, or actually it was about over 10 days between Facebook and Instagram, she got 5 referrals.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they felt like they knew her.
Exactly.
So, but she's been doing it for 2 years. Like you said, you can't stop. Just like in farming, or any type of business, everybody wants to stop. That's what you can't do. You can't get frustrated and stop. And guess what? If somebody doesn't like your whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. Just keep moving on and keep doing it.
It doesn't matter. You got to look at it as like, you didn't want to do business with that anyways. You want like-minded individuals who are going to want to do business with you because it just makes it like the vibe is just so much easier than having it to be forced.
So then you look at your picture. And so this is what I'm doing right now. So now I'm looking at the pictures that, so on my page that I'm putting on Instagram, and I'm using an app so they kind of look similar in color.
Okay.
And that's what I'm playing with, right? But it's starting to look better than it used to. So it is definitely figuring your thing out. And then I can have somebody else helping me post. But what I'm doing for the person that's helping me is I created a file and I'm just putting all the stuff that I like and I'm actually putting my touch on it. And then she can put it into Planology and put the design and posting and doing all that stuff. But I do believe that Instagram is you. If you listen to Gary Vee, if you know Gary Vee or whatever, I mean, he talks about it. I mean, he is, he personally says that he believes that you definitely need to be the one that's posting on Instagram.
Yeah, I take that philosophy for me just because I am such not an emotional poster as like, oh my gosh, you don't know what's going to come out of this girl. But as in like, I have to feel it. Like it just has to be right for me in the moment. And I know when I need to post. And because you get in a groove. And I think once you have that groove established for what you're trying to portray, it works. And you also want to understand it and realize that like some people will tell you it's all about growing organically. But sometimes it's not too. Like you have to find the groove as to like what works for you. And that's the one message I can't get across the most is it's all subjective.
And yes. And the thing is with Instagram, so then I started to do the stories and the live a little bit. And I'll tell you what, because I like watching people's stories.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, okay, and it's just like your everyday life, a lot of these people. And they put in little pieces in the everyday life. They put in little pieces of business somehow.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, when I first started trying to figure this out, I'm like, wow, I'm like they're putting their kids or, hey, this is Nora or whatever it is. And then, different things happening. And I'm like, this is kind of interesting, but it's true. And it does. It makes you feel like you know them and you want to watch them and what's going on in their life. Because again, what is our business? And not just our business in real estate, but other businesses is relationship building.
Totally, 100%. It's all about, and guys, this is really great conversation pieces for when you see people in person. You'll be like, oh my gosh, how is blah, 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 blah. And I add my clients on Instagram and Facebook 100% because it's another way for me to stay in touch with them.
No, absolutely. Yeah. For sure. And when they sit there and they look at stories and they look at Instagram Live and stuff, that's when people a lot of the time are starting to follow you, and then they go and they want to see your board. Right. So they want to see your page, your board, and see what that looks like. So how do you gain followers on Instagram?
So there's a lot of different ways you can gain followers, and you'll even have those people out there that say it has to be 100% organic. But let me tell you something. Are you paying for leads in one avenue or another? You can do the same thing with Instagram. So I think it helps to give a boost, especially because you don't want to get deflated when you don't see progress. And the goal is to reach more and more people, right? So I always check into a location when I post, and I always do city hashtags. There's actually really great programs out there that if you're getting stuck on what hashtags to use, you can Google looking for a hashtag or something similar, and it'll just come up with 30 hashtags for you. Super easy. And then I use a system called Like Growers. It is like $50 for 250,000 likes, because what happens on Instagram when you like someone's photo, and let's say you like 3 of their photos or just one, they're more inclined to look at you and see, who is this person liking my photo, and then respond. So I don't have time, because I'm running a business, to sit there and like photos all day long. So this program does it for me, which is really, really cool. So the hardest thing you have to do is put in like your geolocations, your hashtags. You can even do it for people, and it's $50 for 250,000 likes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that?
Cheap. It's called likegrowers.com.
Like Like?
Yeah. Like
growers.com.
Yeah. I love it. It's like the coolest thing ever. Just because I've had a lot of DMs from local businesses that way. And it really is a nice way to meet new people.
Wow. Okay. So they just go through and they like.
Yeah. It's liking on your behalf when you're out running your business, which is so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Another thing on Instagram is, if you are posting or whatever else, is engagement. Engagement is big, right? Engagement on Instagram. And it's not just saying thank you or whatever else. It's actually using at least 4 words. It's using emotion. It's asking questions. So doing that, and also going on to other people's pages that have something that you like and you want them to follow you, engage on their page.
You do, but you have to be authentic. Like on Instagram, you can 100% tell when it's like a robo comment or something. And if someone makes a comment on your photo, acknowledge it. Whether it's Instagram or Facebook, acknowledge it. If they share something of yours, acknowledge it.
Yeah, because that's huge.
It is.
Engagement is huge, and getting them to share. I mean, that's so awesome when they share. So just give us a couple tips on if somebody isn't doing it, at all on Instagram right now. Tell us, a couple easy steps on where they should start and what they should do.
So the overall picture, and then I'll give you a couple of steps, is you're creating brand loyalists. If you look that up for marketing terminology, if you shop at Target and you're a diehard person, you're a brand loyalist. That's what you need to create with your own business. And by doing so, start simple, download the app, get a feel for it, watch some YouTube videos, start posting. I'm sure in your camera roll, you have pictures somewhere, something that you can use. Change your photo taking method, either it's on your Android or Apple device, and put your photo grid on. Because what you're going to find and you're going to want to explore is how to position a photo when you're taking it to make it have more depth to it and be visually appealing. And then just go for it. This is one of those programs where you can't just say, I'm going to start doing it and be like really good at it. You have to get a feel for it. And if you look at anyone, unless you're someone super, super famous, it's an avalanche where it starts slow and it just builds and builds and builds.
Awesome. And what is a grid? What is a photo grid?
So it actually turns, when you go to take a photo, instead of it not having lines and grids, it will put the grid up so you can see if something is centered or something's off to the side. It just helps with the placement.
Okay, awesome. And then on Instagram, I think you want to start it as a business account.
Yes, 100%. You want to be a business account. It helps. That way you can check your analytics and run ads.
Right. And then your bio. So make sure your bio is really good. Just go on to other people's bio, check them out, and just make, like I had, and I still kind of tweak my bio all the time because it started horrible and now it's just getting a little bit better.
Yeah. Like keywords, 100% keywords. And then, a lot of people are adding their link tree in there. So that way it's one link that then goes to a bunch of different things. It's really preference. And like you just said, it's not something where you're going to set it up once and be done. Like you're going to tweak it as you grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Bri. Now tell us, I know you've got your ebook and you're doing classes and you're doing, your teaching and everything else. How can somebody reach out to you? So
feel free to reach out to me at Breeze to Keys, and that's BreezeTokeys, either on Facebook or Instagram. And my ebook will be pre-sold, which if you follow me, you'll see more information to come on that. I'm looking to release it later on this year. Awesome, Bri. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, listeners. Have an awesome day. Bye, everybody.